How Oscar Indigo broke the universe and put it back together again. Game 3 of the series. There were so many TV trucks crowded around the Mount Etna diamond that Oscar's mom had to park 6 blocks away. 3 news helicopters hovered overhead, and the whap, whap, whap of their rotors made Oscar feel like he was about to play baseball in a combat zone. Even higher overhead, 300 feet above the choppers, the Goodyear blimp circled. While Oscar stared upward in wonder at all the aircraft, Taser Tompkins shouldered him to the dirt. RoboCop snickered. Nice going, genius, said Taser. The story of the underdog Wildcats and their little home run hero is going viral. Now the whole country will be watching when the Yankees smash you guys like electric guitars. They turned and stamped away toward their dugout, but not before RoboCop kicked dirt on Oscar's uniform pants. Slowly, Oscar climbed to his feet. Oscar, have you got a second? Cried a woman's voice over the roar of the helicopters. Oscar squinted through the dust to see Vern and Susie, earpieces in place, hair flying as they raced toward him with their microphones. This time, they weren't just figments of his imagination. They were really at the game. Tell us your secret, Oscar Indigo, requested Vern. How have the Wildcats made it this far? Prodded Susie. The whole country wants to know. A lot of dedication, replied Oscar, and a little luck. And gallons of Oscar-aid, shouted Bobby Farouk, bombing the interview. And what is Oscar-aid? Asked Susie as security guards politely but firmly removed Bobby from the picture. Our team's favorite sports drink, replied Bobby, popping back in. It contains a secret ingredient. What's the secret ingredient? Your fans will want to know, said Vern. Ask Oscar, said Bobby. He makes it. Gotta go. This time the security guards meant business. Oscar? Prompted Vern, pointing the mic at him. If I told you, it wouldn't be a secret, would it? Replied Oscar cagily. I guess not, said Vern, scratching his head in disappointment. Once he and Susie finished the interview, they made their way toward the broadcast desk. Butterflies took flight in Oscar's stomach. The Wildcats had to win this. But even with high spirits and practice, could they really beat the Yankees? And for that matter, could he find a way to put those 19 seconds back where they belonged, wherever that might be? Evidence that the universe was crumbling rapidly lay all around. The double suns burned in the sky. His mom was yelling in the stands, until Mr. Rossini went up to her and began a quiet conversation. Well, maybe that was a good sign. Still, Oscar had his work cut out for him. Mr. Lim and Mr. Scarrett met him at the dugout gate. Any luck, they asked. Some. Oscar showed them the watch he'd been holding on to since he'd retrieved it from Hector Smiley's seat at the do-over baseball game. Managed to get this back, which is a starting point, I guess. Good, Mr. Lim exclaimed. Why don't you hold on to that until T. Buffington Smiley arrives? As long as you're not tempted to... I've learned my lesson, Oscar blushed. I'm not pushing the button ever again. Is T. Buffington Smiley coming? Yes, he has some important information for you and your team, Mr. Scarrett said. He should be here soon. He had one last wave to ride before he left the beach. Hopefully he can tell me how to get those 19 seconds back. I'm starting to get worried, fretted Oscar. Sounds of the team getting ready called his attention back to the field. Anyway, before you go join your pals, we bought something for you, said Mr. Lim self-consciously. See, Mr. Scarrett and I picked out a new pair of baseball shoes. We didn't know what style you'd like, so we just guessed. He shyly brought a shoebox from behind his back and revealed a pair of glistening black handmade spikes, highlighted by 5 red stripes apiece. Just a little something you probably wouldn't have bought for yourself, threw in Mr. Scarrett. They're spectacular, said Oscar. I love them. Knock 'em dead, Ace, said Mr. Lim. I guess I'd better make a speech, said Coach Ron as the team collected up in the dugout. Ahem. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today. Coach, interrupted Oscar, I got this. I have this whole thing about General Custer, Coach Ron said, gesturing distractedly at his notes, and how he stood up to adversity. I think it'll get us through all our problems. It won't, Coach, because I'm the problem, said Oscar. The team was silent. The problem with our team and everything else, I'm the reason the whole universe has gone nuts. No way, said Steve Brinkley. Way, said Oscar. Because I cheated. I didn't hit that home run. I used a device that stops time to make it look like I'd hit a home run. But there were some significant repercussions. Namely, I broke the universe and now we're in trouble. Wait a minute, said Axel Machado. Are you the reason there are two suns and no bees and tsunamis every day on the shore? Well, said Oscar, yes. I don't believe it, said Axel. You're such a nice guy. Tell them, Lourdes. It's important for the team to know. He did it, confirmed Lourdes. It's hard to believe, but he did. I know for a fact. This changes everything, said Kevin. I mean, we don't deserve to be tied. 1-1 with the Yankees. I'm sorry, Oscar, but we might as well give up. We're losers. We'll always be losers, even with Lourdes and Oscar aid. Go tell Susie and Vern so they can break the story and let's go home. The team sat quietly. No one could really deny what Kevin had said. News helicopters hummed in the silence. Oscar didn't know what to say. He only wished T. Buffington Smiley were there to give him advice. And just like that, footsteps sounded outside. Hello? T. Buffington Smiley stepped into the dugout, saying, Sorry I'm late. You haven't given up yet, right? I have last-minute information that might help. Who is this guy? Asked Coach Ron. Let me introduce Professor T. Buffington Smiley, said Oscar. He's a famous scientist. Hi, all. Sorry I'm late. Pterodactyls. What I came to say is that, firstly, you actually do deserve to be tied with the Yankees, said T. Buffington Smiley. See, I did a little computation. It wasn't even that hard. You cheated to win game 1. We all know that. Oscar could feel himself blushing. But they cheated to win game 2. Professor Smiley finished triumphantly. Right! They lied to so Taser could pitch. I knew it. Remember, kids? Coach Ron was beside himself. Which puts you even at 1-1, said T. Buffington Smiley. And now here's what I came to say. You need to win. Of course we do, said Kevin. No. The fate of the universe depends on it. Oscar might not have told you the whole story because he doesn't want to worry you, but I will. To fix this thing, you need to achieve victory. If you guys don't beat the Yankees fair and square, and Oscar doesn't figure out how to put back the 19 seconds he took, our universe will go downhill with lightning speed. Taser Tompkins and Robocop Roberts and the rest of the Yankees and everyone like them will always win every game they play. And that's just for starters, because in addition, there will be hordes of invading pterodactyls and sinister trees waving tentacles, and unhappy parents will never leave their dead-end jobs, and absent fathers will miss important games, and the second sun will slowly cook the earth until nothing can live on it, and then our universe will break off the cosmic plant that sustains it, and we'll all... We get the picture, Professor Smiley, said Oscar. There's one more thing, said the professor. Oscar, by watching the waves and interpreting their motions, I have been able to deduce that you need to replace what you took when time was stopped. You, Oscar, need to hit your own home run. Okay, Professor, said Oscar, I'm on it. Now go out there and win, said T. Buffington Smiley. We're the Wildcats. We're the best. We will, cried Oscar. And with that, he launched into the team chair as all the Wildcats joined in. East Mount Etna, East Mount Etna, East Mountain Etna, wow. Ain't nobody gonna keep the Wildcats down.